Hello everyone, Mark here, Mark's Max Muscle, and we are finally getting a chance to see Roelly Winklaar from the 2021 Europa Pro, or the Europa Spain. He just recently placed 5th at the Chicago Pro, disappointingly, and now he returns and places 2nd, so he improved, right? Well, not necessarily. And before I get into this one, if you follow Superset Man, hello Superset Man, welcome back to my channel, or Superset Maniacs is what he says. Anyway, he's going to do this exact same match. We usually jive, communicate so we don't end up doing the same one, but this is a very popular one, and sometimes we do like to do this and give you guys a couple of different views on it. Anyway, did he improve? I think he improved his stance, the way he's holding his shot. He's holding his leg straight. He's holding his rib cage, opened it up a little bit more. Not quite to a vacuum, but he actually did hold a vacuum a little bit after this shot. And I think this is the best bet for him. He opens up his rib cage. It just looks a whole lot better. He ends up looking bigger. Now, for actual changes in his physique, look at the quads. Look at the quads. Now, tell me if I'm wrong, but did he not put some inches on his wheels? Looks like it to me. I think he's carved up a little bit better, and I'll explain what I mean a little bit after. And this one here, again, he's holding his wheels differently. You see what I mean? He's trying to get a classical feel about his physique at the Chicago. Shouldn't have did that. His midsection looks smaller at the Chicago. Now, I'm sure you guys, some of you people, shaking your head, thinking, well, he had stomach distension issues at Chicago. Yes, when he couldn't hold it in. When he was flexing his abs, his midsection was small. And that's what I mean. He was carved up better. He's carved up more. Midsection looks thicker at the Europa, but he has more energy to be able to hold the gut in. You see what I'm saying now? He looked lean at the Chicago, but he was so depleted that there were certain shots that he didn't have the energy to hold that big gut in. Sure, if he could stick his gut out at the Europa Pro, it would be much bigger, but you know what I'm saying? He had the energy. He was carved up better. He could hold it in. And look at the wheels. The wheels, again, much bigger. But I'm telling you guys, his midsection looks smaller at the Chicago. Go to the first of the two side shots. Taken at a little bit of a different angle. The camera more to his left at the Chicago. Makes his quad look bigger. You can see the hamstring a little bit better, I believe. But having said that, the lighting was terrible at the Europa. I thought they were not going to release these pictures because the lighting was so terrible. But anyway, his chest, his pecs look bigger for the Europa. Could be the angle. But one thing's for sure, his delt looks twice as big. The delt difference. Ba-ba-bum. It's much bigger, much more separated. And if you get a close look there, look at the vascularities in that delt. Vascularities, baby, please, Louis Marco. Anyway, he was funny. But anyway, that's what I'm saying, guys. He is bigger, more pronounced, but as far as the aesthetics in this shot, I kind of like the Chicago, the way his hamstring hangs a little bit better. And I did notice at the Chicago, he had a massive hanging hamstring. Go to the next side shot, and you'll notice he's going back. And if you watched my my original Chicago Pro video, Chicago Pro versus Olympia 2018, Roelly Winklaar, he was hitting his pose, his tricep, with the wrong arm. He was using his left arm for the Chicago, and it's half the size. It's half the size. Use your right arm, Roelly, and that's what he's doing now. And look at the tricep itself. Not even a comparison. So obviously his his symmetry is off a little bit as far as his tricep is concerned. So thus far, the biggest change that I could gather is his posing techniques, his stance, things of that nature. Let's have a look at the first of the two back shots. And guys, I hate to ruffle any feathers here, but he's better at the Chicago from behind. Look at his glutes. Look at his hamstring, guys. Don't be fooled by the placings. You see the placings and think, oh, he must be way better. Well, it must be way better at the Europa Pro. Well, I'm not going to be biased because of his placings. His back looks better, more separated. His glutes. It's not just the footage either. It's not just the clarity of the picture. You can definitely see he is tighter at the Chicago as far as his conditioning, glutes, things of that nature. Now, yes, his posing skills from the front shots, his quads were bigger. His quads are bigger. But I gotta say, guys, is it overall a better version? I think if he had hit that tricep from the other side at the Chicago, he might have won. Anyway, guys, with all due respect to some of your guys' opinions, I'm sure many of you think he was 100% better in all of the shots, but clearly judging by this rear lat spread, that is not the case. And I did notice Nathan was, in particular, defeating Roelly quite handily in the back shots, so needs a little work on the back, I think, does Roelly. Now, as far as the rear double bicep is concerned, this is the same thing with the front double. He is posing at a much better posture. It's even more symmetrical. You can see that. He's posing much better. Now, for actual changes, for actual improvements, I think his traps might be a little bit bigger. But again, guys, that could be due to the display. He's crunching back too much at the Chicago. You can see that for sure. And his lats don't look as big either. He's opened up much better. It's just a better overall pose. But when you look at the wheels, and this is the same thing, guys, when I was doing the Nathan D'Asha comparison, like I said, the wheels from behind were underwhelming for Roelly Winklaar. And not as conditioned when you look at the hamstrings. And don't be fooled by that, the bad lighting, things of that nature. Take a close look. There's clearly muscle separation, glutes, quads, or hamstrings rather, for Roelly. So, quads better, hamstrings not quite so much. So, guys, is he better? I don't know. Now, when you turn back around, now you can see the abs and thigh. This is what I was saying about the midsection of Roelly Winklaar. I mean, yes, he may have been better from the front, but don't think for 1 second that his midsection was bigger at the Chicago. It was not. It was, like I said, when he couldn't hold his gut in, it might have been. But here, both midsections flexed. You can see he has maybe a couple of inches on that waistline at the Europa. And that just means he's more carved up. He's filled up better. Got the more energy to keep from that gut from spilling out, though. You see what I'm saying? Very thin, depleted at the Chicago. And that's no good for a Roelly Winklaar. He needs to be full. He needs to be full of veins and vascularity. He's a beast. But here's the thing. Take a real good close look at the quads, both quads. I mean, granted, he is posing. He's flexing, displaying a different quad on each pose. But still, his legs are twice as big at the Europa. So he needs to be filled up, carved up. So from the front, legs good at the Europa. Legs from behind, better at the Chicago. And like I said, I know I'm ruffling feathers by saying that, but that's just a true statement. I mean, look at the back shots if you don't believe me. But here, clearly from the front, hey, way better, way better. And not only that, but bigger quads for Roelly now. Finish this comparison off. A little bit of a lackluster one, I have to say. It's not the improvements that I thought. And you can see in the most muscular, upper body-wise, he doesn't look a whole lot bigger here at the Europa. It doesn't look bigger at all. Could be the display, could be the timing of the shot, and that's all possible. That's all very possible. One thing's for sure, though, and here we get to see him, it's the same quads. He's flexing them at the same posture. Clearly, he's much bigger, and not only that, but drier in the lag department as well. So whatever he did for the quads, apply that same technique to every other muscle except for the midsection, which was thicker and bigger. And you can even see that here in this. And that's not a half-cocked statement. He's filled up more. And you guys should know that. That a Roelly Winklaar needs to be carved up. A guy like Frank Zane, he's better off being depleted. You see what I'm saying? Sunk in. But a guy like this needs to be a beast. Anyway, guys, that is the comparison. Take it for what it is. I'm not going to say one's better, one's not. But this is the video of the Europa Pro, the Europa Spain, and he did hit his most muscular like this, food for thought. But still, even in this posture, he's nowhere near as big as he used to be. But he can still do some damage at the Olympia, and food for thought. I'm sure most of you guys know this, but the top two at the Europa get a ticket to the Olympia. The top two. So Nathan and Roelly Winklaar are both headed to that event. Anyway, guys, hit thumbs up on the video if you did, in fact, enjoy it. And believe me, I wish I could say that he was 100 times better in all of the shots, but it just was not the case. But hit over to Superset Man. Welcome back to my channel, Superset Maniacs, and see his opinion on it. His opinion may vary differ than mine, and that's what we wanted to do. Give you guys two different viewpoints on this. Have a great day.